Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We're over here around the corner of my house in a little nothing spot of the yard. I'm working on my cinder block bed today. Alright, and so I wanted to show you what we're doing and how we utilize this cinder block bed in two successions essentially throughout the year to get a lot of really great production of some really good useful vegetables. Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you this to my right here. Alright, this mess, a bunch of chickweed grew up in there. It's hard to get it out, but this is all garlic. Okay, this is our garlic that we planted back in probably the start of October. So initially in that spot we plant some squash. Okay, so like basically this garlic will go until I believe it's early July. I think that's when we normally get it out of there. Early July we'll get this garlic out, and once this garlic is out and cleaned up, we actually have time to get another run of summer squash in there. Okay, but in order to do that we have to have the summer squash seeds started already and ready to be planted. So we get two successions in this one spot here. Okay, this spot right here, we'll get, we'll get 3 more squash plants in there and all this garlic, which I think we planted 40 something. I think it's 40 something heads of garlic in there. We probably have a garlic video on that, and if we do, maybe we'll put an iCard around somewhere or another about planting that garlic. But so we use that spot, okay, and then we use this down here. I'll show you real fast. I'm sitting on the ground. I'm sitting down, so we use this spot down here, right on the corner. Okay, we'll use that for beets. And then the spot right behind me, I'm gonna lean back. Alright, see all this? And it's right here, right behind me. Okay, I'm gonna put spinach in that. Now, the beets, when they're done, we'll put in some kind of dry bean, like a dry bush bean type deal. And this is just gonna run in and be done in a couple months. And we can just harvest that up before frost hits. And then behind us we'll probably do similar things after the spinach is done. Spinach is very fickle in this area. It can be a little cold to get the seeds to germinate early, but then you only have 6 weeks possibly that the spinach can actually grow and not go to seed. So we plant it because I love growing it, but we may or may not get a whole lot out of it because how the temperatures can fluctuate, and spinach does not like heat at all in the slightest. No no good. So it'll just go to seed real fast, or bolt, as we say. It'll bolt, and so then there's not a whole lot you can do after that. But we're gonna get going planting these beets. Okay, we've got 2 different kinds of beets. Let's show you what we've got. So we're gonna have albino beets, okay, which we've never grown before, but they sound kind of fun. A lot of times we'll plant one thing for this fun, that sounds fun and different, and we'll plant one thing we're gonna love and enjoy. And that one thing is the Detroit dark red beets. That right there, that's gonna give me some good pickled beets. If you don't have no good pickled beets, you don't know what you're missing. Alright, so once we actually get some beets, it's a good bet that Miss Angela Kay is gonna give you a pickled beet video. Alright, so stay tuned. But right now, I'm gonna get these beets planted. And one thing you got to remember about planting beets is that they are cluster seeds. Okay, just like Swiss chard. Okay, Swiss chard's in the beet family. They're cluster seeds. So it's right here. See these? All right, there's several seeds actually on each cluster. Okay, so when you plant them, when they germinate, you're probably gonna have to thin some, and we'll talk about that later as they germinate and what you need to do as beets grow in order to ensure that you get the best beets. Okay. But for right now, they just gotta get started growing. Now, I've already amended this soil. Okay, we went through, cleaned out the weeds, scraped up all the dirt, tilled through it with our 4-tined like rake-looking till thing. It's a good tool to have. And then I put some more potting mix in, a good organic potting mix to lighten up the dirt and to refill it because it happens. And we put some Trifecta Plus from MI Gardener in the dirt as well. So now we just gotta get them planted. Now you do need to make sure you space these correctly. I don't normally do a whole lot on spacing, but for beets especially, they need a little bit of space. So we're just gonna take them. I'm gonna drop one probably every 4 inches. Okay, be honest with you. I'll drop one every 4 inches. I'm just eyeballing it and get a good row started. And once that row is done, I'll just go across the board and plant. So I put 5 in that row. Okay, maybe it might be able to handle 6, but I want to make sure I got some good beets. Okay, these are the albino beets, by the way. Okay, I'm not gonna do as many of the albino beets because hey, they're just for fun, and it's always good to have something that's for fun. It's different, unique, keeps your interest growing, and it can be very useful at the same time. So I'm gonna finish planting these, okay, and I'm gonna spare you the boring details of these, but just know we got 5 in a row, spaced get about 4 inches apart, and I'm probably gonna give us another 4 inches this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. We might get another 6 rows in, okay? And then we're just gonna go to the Detroit dark reds. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I'm halfway through planting these beets, and I'm gonna give my knees a break a little bit, but I want to show you real fast. So the albino beets are up here, okay, at the top, and I said that I drew myself a little line right here somewhere, if you can get to it, right there. Drew myself a line right there to show where the albino beets are, then where the Detroit dark reds are here. Now if you see, I put little holes, my little finger holes right there, okay? That's where I know the seeds are at. So that way when the seeds, when I'm done, I just go back and cover over the seeds a little bit, okay? So that's what I'm doing there. Now look, again, spacing is pretty important with beets. One reason is that you're gonna need that extra dirt. Later, once they germinate, you're gonna need to, when you thin, you're gonna need to bring that dirt from between the rows, bring it up around the tops to give that top a good structure to help create a better root, since you're actually eating what's below the ground, correct? Not that you can't eat the beet tops too, but you need to be able to support that top, and it helps it create a better, stronger beet. All right, so that's done. That's a chore on my knees, let me tell you what. But we got probably 110 or so Detroit dark red seeds planted, and probably another around 40 albino beet seeds planted. Now I know you're saying, oh, it's a lot of beets. Yeah, it is. I love beets. And you also have to remember that you don't always get everything that you planted, okay? Not everything turns out like you wanted, and it's that way every time. And so we always plant for failure, okay? Plant for failure. So we plant, pray, hope they all come up, hope they all produce a beautiful beet, but at the same time you understand things happen. Not every seed germinates, not every plant grows that well. And sometimes, like we did last year, you have a rabbit come along and eat the tops off your beets. Even though we had a rabbit eat a lot of our beet tops last year, we still had a nice bit of beets and a couple of jars of pickled beets to go along with that. But we love them. They're a great underused vegetable, and we just plant a lot of them. Hope they do the best. Now let's go plant some spinach right back here behind me, okay? Okay, now it's time to do this spinach. Gigante de Inverno, okay? Yeah, as we said back home, Inverno. Them Gigante de Invernos, right? Okay, so good spinach. Love growing it, but again, you gotta be careful. Don't let it bolt on you. So it's actually kind of a cooler spot, and it probably won't bolt as quickly here, but you still gotta kind of get it in and get going. I'm not as particular about the spinach as I am about the beets, because we know we have a limited amount of time with the spinach, and sometimes you plant a little thicker, again like we do with the lettuces. You can at least use it for baby greens and get a little more of it. So I'm not going to just throw them in here real thick, but I won't necessarily be as picky. So that way, the more seeds you got planted, the more at least baby greens you can get from it, right? So that's what we're going to do now. Okay, we got that planted too, and it's good about 1, 2, 3, 4. It's probably close to 6 feet, maybe 5.5 feet long, and maybe 18 inches wide bed of spinach. So it's going to get a good amount of spinach. Again, like I said, it's a loosely planted row, okay? So they're not exactly spaced by no means. Drop, 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 cover in. Okay, we're good. Probably about 6 to 8 per row, and then just kind of started scattering some because my knees got tired. But that's another story, right? But say again, the main purpose of this video is the great utilization that you can have for a cinder block bed just in the corner of your yard somewhere. Okay, look at this. Back out. All this right here. Okay, all that right there. We got we grow 40 something heads of garlic in there. I think that's what we have. You know, 3 squash plants that produce amazingly right there. You know, well over 100 beets. We have onions planted in the holes of the cinder blocks. You get a lot of spinach planted over here. And also, again, after some of this stuff comes out, After like the beets come out, we got more beans going in. And after this spinach goes out, we'll probably have some more beans going in. And you just keep growing in these same spots in the corner of your yard. And it's probably 15 feet long this way, 3 feet wide up there, or 3 feet long up there, and 6 to 7 feet right here on this other side. So it's not, doesn't take a whole lot of space. Again, let's back out and look at this again. So it's probably 6 to 7 feet, maybe right through there, probably 7. And then from here down to there, each panel is probably 8 feet. So it's probably 15 feet, 15, 16 feet there, then a few feet down right here. And it's only 18 inches wide. You can grow a lot of food just right there. That's a lot of food that we're growing just in this corner of the yard that really just a pain in the butt to mow. So why not make a bed out of it, right? It's an outstanding way to grow more food. Great utilization of spots in your yard that just are throwaway spots, and probably more of a pain to take care of than the yard actually have. You know, it's not worth it. So again, there it is. I appreciate you guys watching. Do us a favor, thumbs up the video, like, subscribe to the channel, everything, you know, do all that good stuff, right? Click the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel. That's a big thing, because you don't get all of our videos if you don't do that stuff, okay? You won't see it all. All right, so there it is. My name is Jason, Art of Creation Homestead. We love you guys. God bless you, and goodbye.